right, I'm back. I'm back, baby. I'm back. Here we go. Yes, back. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so angle bracket. That's what I've got to draw. The last one, last assignment of real work for the semester. This is it. This is the last CAD assignment I have. 3D angle bracket. Oh, I didn't open my PDF yet, but it's the same image that's on the assignment. I'm gonna open up my PDF though. This one, right? This is my PDF for this assignment. I think I just discussed before my computer crashed that I was going to just do this as a box. Just build a big rectangular box and I'll just cut these in like I'm doing subtractive machining of sorts. So I'll just cut in these cuts into my box and cut in these circles and then add the fillets once I'm done there. So that's how I'm going to proceed. Oh, and I also discussed that I'm going to view this as this is my front view, these surfaces here. Looking straight at that gusset here. This will be a gusset piece here. Um, the back side of this view will become my right side view, and then I'll also have a top view of this one. I think that will be a good details. We'll have the longest width, nice stable part profile, exposing some features. So that'll be a good front view choice. This would not be a great front view choice, just kind of the narrow width for sure, and so your top view would, yeah, definitely not necessarily positioned in the best choice way to choose. I don't know what it wants me to try new, but I don't want to try it right now. Okay. Just take these down for a minute. Get back my. And what else? Oh, I was just going to look at the. It's just all an inch, same thing. Yeah, top, front, right side. I feel like is what I'm gonna have to do with my isometric. We'll add dimensions to our finished drawings like we've been doing, even though I don't have imagery for that up. Okay, I think I'm good. While I'm here, I'm not going to need this viewport when I come back to this sheet, so I can get rid of it. And then jump over to model space, set myself up for 3D modeling, right? 3D modeling. And I'm going to choose shaded with edges, my general go-to. There's my 3D space. Good. Yeah, I think I will just do a box here, box command. So this is going to be my front view as well. This way in my front view. I think it's 4.25, right? Let me look again. 4.25. My front view width 4.25 by 2.5 by 2.75 tall. 2.5. So 4.25 this way. Not that way. Let me go again. Yeah, 4.25. Tab. Sorry, I just didn't tab. 2.5. 2.5. Yes. 2.5 inches deep. And 2.75 tall, right? Height. Yep. So we'll do some subtractive cutting here now. A lot of different ways you can do that too. I'll just do a sketch and press pull them, I think is what I'll do. Sketch them.
You're just gonna draw it how it's shown. That's the right thing.
Yeah, well, this is my front view right here. So it's gonna be 4.25 by 2.75. Yeah, yep. So I'm slightly orienting it different. I always feel like these views are driving me towards this is kind of front and right side, but I'm gonna choose this as front, and the back side is right side. Yeah. Front view there. So I'll do some sketches on, and I'll do these as I do a lot of my cutting like this with my construction layer, just like I would. Let's see. So I just want to cut out a section here, and a section over here. So I might just use, oh, I don't know. I might just draw a sketch on this surface here of this box. Then I might mirror it over to this surface of this box so I can use them both to cut. My thought is I'm just going to kind of cut the L shape here to the where it meets the gusset. And so Yeah, yeah. I mean, but this is just one way. You could do this a whole number of ways, but I'll show you how I'm gonna do this. Um, so I just need to know kind of what the thickness of that L shape is, because I'm gonna do kind of a cut up here. So let's see, this, I think it's 3/4. Yeah, 3/4 by 3/4. So all the way around this thing is just 3/4 of an inch. So I think I'll just come up 3/4 and then start drawing my box. I might need to know, to me, in order to draw this, I might need to know a couple things, or I could start in the top. Yeah, I can start however I want to start this, but I just need to maybe know in order to what the dimensions are. Overall width minus 3/4 maybe is going to be so it's, or the overall depth here is how mine is depth this way is 2.5 minus 3/4. So that would be what, 1 and 3/4. Yeah. So 1 and 3/4 that way. If I were to think of how much got cut out right here, and then how much got cut out down this way, well, it's 2 and 3/4 minus 3/4. So this is like 2 inches down. So I'm just looking to draw a box here that's like 1 and 3/4 by 2, kind of from this one square that I want to cut out. So what I'm thinking of is on this surface, I'm going to cut this out 1 and 3/4 by 2 right here. And I'm going to go in so far. I'll just do the sketch first. So I'll do a polyline sketch on my construction layer on this surface from this corner to me. So it comes this way along this surface. Um, this is the way that it's 1 and 3/4, right? 1.75 is where, and then it's going to come down 2 inches, and then back this way to the edge, which I can just lock into a perpendicular grip here, and then back up to the start. Oh yeah, so this, you can see, that's, I'm just going to use this as a cut, but this is 1 and 3/4 by 2 by 1 and 3/4, and what that leaves is kind of a 3/4 by 3/4 L shape here. Yeah, 1 and 3/4 is what is the difference of 2.5 minus 3/4. Yeah. See how many times we use that? You're gonna get so good at that stuff. Once I'm not here to help you, you guys will have to do it. Use your calculators. That's good. Yeah, this stuff comes the more you do it, but yeah. So, and I've done a polyline. So this shape should just be kind of like a closed polygon. I'm gonna turn this on. So what I'm thinking is, this is my sketch to cut in this way to the gusset. I want to cut this way as well. So I think I'm just going to mirror this sketch across this thing. And so mirror works similar to how it does in 2D, only it's a 3D mirror. So it likes 3 points instead of just two, right? A 2D mirror just needs 2 points and an axis. 3D just needs 3 points. So let's do that. I don't think I've done that yet. So I'm going to go to just my wireframe for 3D here and just take a look at this so I can get an idea. What I'm going to use is just midpoint. So I'm going to make sure I have midpoints, because I'm going to look to mirror across this shape here, that sketch. So this mirror should be on our modify table here somewhere. Which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah, that's stretch. Wait, is mirror here? Mirror's right there. Oh yeah. I was mirror. What am I mirroring? I'm mirroring this thing. Yep, that's the only thing I want to mirror. And then it wants to know the first point of mirror line. So I'm looking for the midpoint across here. So, when I have all my 2D and 3D grips on, I definitely get a lot of I get a lot of snaps, showing up. Remember how to isolate them, hold down shift, right click. And if I'm looking for just a specific midpoint, I can isolate just a midpoint. And then that's the only thing that's snapping off, which is great. Just, you have to remember to do that every time. So hold down shift. It wants to know the second point of mirror line. I'm gonna pick the other midpoint here on this back side here. Oh, and it only does one too. So I was thinking maybe there's a 3D mirror on here though somewhere. Is there? Oh yeah, so this one works. Like the one when I drop my modify tab down and I pick that mirror, it was the 2D mirror, which would work. This would be fine. I was thinking there was a 3D mirror. Is it this one here? Oh yeah, 3D mirror. So it just wants 3 points. Honestly, the 2D would work for me there, but here's a 3D mirror just because. Yeah, exactly right. There's my object that I want to mirror, just because it, yeah, makes it more complicated. You can use the same way though. You can still hold down Shift, right click, and that'll help you isolate a specific grip. I want midpoint. I want to do midpoint again, so I'm just going to go Shift, right click, midpoint, and then it wants to know the last one, right? So Shift. So I just kind of come up like the, yeah, just like I'm drawing a plane through this, a 3D plane. Shift, right click. There's my midpoint there. It does the same thing. You want to delete? No, I don't want to delete. I just want to keep it. And so there's my mirrored geometry. And then I can just use press pull to cut this through if I know how far it needs to cut to hit the gusset. And then I'll just leave the gusset as kind of the original box material. It is, this is kind of a weird shape because maybe it is a whole separate piece here. I'm going to kind of keep mine all joined as if I was a machinist and like cutting this all out of one block. But I mean, I could make that shape and actually bring it in, kind of like how we drew the boot and put it on the table. I could do the same thing. I could draw that shape somewhere, that triangular shape, and bring it in. Or I could have drawn this as an L shape to start. Like there's so many different ways to see this geometry and get to the same finish. So I'm just going to look at what the difference is here. So I'm planning on just like cutting those boxes that I drew up to these points where they'll hit that gusset, which is 3/4. So I just need to know, 3/4 minus 425 divided in half. So, this is why your calculator is always handy, right? 4 1/4. And then the gusset is 3/4. So I want to leave that much material. This is how much material I need to cut out, but I need to cut it out half of it out of each side. So just divide that by 2. So it'll be like I'm gonna press pull those shapes that I drew 1 3/4, and that should leave me a 3/4 inch gusset across the middle. So let's do that. So I'll press pull this thing. And this one I'll see it how it's drawing easier with the 3D on. Let's see here. So if I'm going to do like a press pull, or you could do an extrude, right? Really similar features here between extrude and press pull. In Inventor, I don't think we have press pull. In Inventor, we'll always go to extrude. Extrude is either a cut or extrude is a solid in Inventor. So anyway, press pull is probably what I use more in CAD, I guess. So there's my press pull shape. But like I said, whether it creates a solid or creates a cut, I'll be happy either way. This is 1.75 is how much I need to cut in there. And it actually did do a cut. So that's great. If it didn't do a cut, I'll just use my subtract after it's placed a solid. Yeah. Then it's a solid, adding a solid. Yeah. Bam. So that's at least my L shape. And then I'm just gonna do another sketch on this surface now that I've created. I'm just gonna do like a polyline sketch here that's triangular. I kind of have all the points. I really don't need any. So the way I see this is I'll just go back in. I'm still on my construction layer with a polyline. And I'm just gonna lock in here. I could do endpoints. I could, if I can. I think this is a nice 3D endpoint, that blue square. I'm gonna draw across here to here and back to this point and then back to this here. And I'll escape. So now I have another shape to press pull across here. Press pull that shape through here. It's 3/4. We're just going to cut that off. And now I've got the basis of my shape. I need a couple holes. I can just cut them in the bottom. Yeah. So let me look at some of the dimensions for that. They come in 3/4. Oh, I do think I do think that this is a little misleading. I know some people have probably already definitely comes in 3/4 off the edge and then 2 3/4. And so it's 3/4 off both edges. Because if I do 2 3/4 plus 3/4 plus another 3/4, that's 4 1/4, I think, right? Let me see. That would be 3 1/2 plus another 3/4 would be 4 1/4. Yes. So they come in 3/4 off of each edge of that. And then how far do they come in the other way? Well, that's not explicitly given, actually, right? I don't have a dimension for how far maybe off my front view plane to come over. So this is kind of weird. Somebody has added an arrow here. Like this is obviously here's the diameter of my 5/8 diameter, 0.625 holes. 3/4 inch radius on the outside edge, yes. I do think these are concentric. So I think it's actually 3/4 by 3/4 is how this is put in. And that puts kind of the a concentric relationship to the center of the radius edge to the hole center. So if that's what you did, I think you did it right. I think it's a little bit unclear, unless it had like a concentric symbol or something, but I'm going to do it that way. 3/4 by 3/4. So I'll just draw in some endpoints to make those circles on the bottom here, right? So it's just like coming in 3/4 by 3/4. So I can do the same thing. Just draw a polyline here. Maybe I'll just draw it over this way, 3/4, right? Yeah. Sometimes you'll see me draw this like along. What I like to see, sometimes when I'm 3D sketching, it's weird because 3D sketching is kind of, it can, you can kind of not tell which, I mean, I'm on this plane because of the plane that I've got shown here. And I've referenced this surface essentially, really. But, sometimes even though I want to make this only 3/4 of an inch long, I'll pull it out past my object and make sure I'm on kind of that. I like that my cursor, it looks like a 3D, it has all the 3D axes there. So this just helps me know that I'm snapping in the right direction along that plane. From that point there, I'm staying in that plane. Anyway, if I stay on my object, it can be a little hard. And I can grab an O snap that I didn't mean to a little bit, but really I'm just trying to come over here 3/4 of an inch, which is right there, and then I can come down. Oh, it's not going to let me draw that way because I'm on the wrong plane. It let me draw my first line, but I didn't reference the right plane to draw my second line. So let me reference that plane. There it is. And I'll look for this endpoint. Now that's in here somewhere. There it is, maybe. And then I should be able to draw this one down. Oh, I keep bouncing off the wrong plane. So if this happens to you, you can always switch to the right plane to help you just get it there. Or I'm just going to try to be a little more careful when I reference that. Shift select endpoint. There it is. That should be right. Yeah, I'm on the right plane now. It just took me a minute to get the right plane. And it's 3/4 down is what I'm gonna do. Is that the right length? Oh yeah, it should be. Escape. That looks right. 3/4 by 3/4. That's where that's at. You can draw the same sketch over here. Let's go. Now I'm stayed reference to the right plane here, so that's good. There's some endpoints now. I can draw some circles. Just with my circle command. Circle radius or circle diameter. Those are 0.625 diameter. If you don't know that, that's and I'm referencing that plane first, so it'll be my circle will be on that bottom plane. Yes, good. 0.625. 5/8 diameter. If you were drawn by radius, it would be 5/16, right? Half of 5/8 is 5/16. That's 0.3125 if you were drawn by radius. So there's a couple more to press pull. That should be 3/4 of an inch. I'll just do one at a time here. 0.75 is what should cut through. Yeah. Do that again. This shape. Pull this way. You could cut it further through. If you had issues with it not cutting through, just pull it through further. Where it's a cut, I can cut it, extend it through if I need to. Anyway, that's pretty much it, except for I just need to do some radius corners, right? So I'll just use the fillet radius, but I think it is a little bit weird, huh? For the fillet command to do this. Let me see. Oh yeah, 0.625 diameter. Yes. Right there. 0.625. What I need to now put are these fillet radiuses on the edge, 1/4 inch on the top one and 3/4 inch on the bottom one. So I'm going to use the fillet command here. try this here, right? Fillets over here and modify. Select the object. I think this can kind of be weird on this first one to select the object. There's my object, kind of recognizes all of its corners for the most part. Then it asks for a fillet radius.
Easier to do it in the 3D flyer, right?
If you're going to do it there, yes. Let me try this. 1.75 is what the first ones I might do here. And then it says select an edge, which I would like to do this edge, but it might have all of those selected. So let me just see. If I select that edge and then I hit enter, you see it actually like chose everything that I had selected kind of weirdly. So I'm gonna let's correct this a little bit, but yeah, and it recognizes that object as what its full potential was, because it's like when you go to this wireframe, it actually still shows kind of the extents of what the original box was, even though I've been cutting that away. So it's kind of interesting, but this will work. Yeah, that is the edge I want. Sorry, I'll get off this thing maybe in just a minute. Let me escape. So to me, yeah, it would be fillet, select the object. I'm just going to select the edge. What's kind of weird is I don't want it to select all the edges. I just want to select maybe that edge. The other edge I would want would maybe be this one if it'll let me, but I think it goes right into just ready for it to go. Like if I hit enter, fillet radius 0.75, and then I have to select that edge again, even though it seems like it's selected. If I hit enter, there it is. That cuts in. I think the selection of this can be really weird. It could take you a few times to get this for sure. And I think you're right, Scott. I think it is easier on that wireframe view, because I'll try this again on the shaded edges. I think it likes to just select multiple edges here more. Like when I go into this, and it wants me to select my object edge, which kind of would be that. So I think I'm okay if as long as I get that single selection like this, and then it acts like I need to select it again. Or maybe it's already selected. All I have to do is maybe hit enter. So you can do it. I just feel like it's really, I think it's when it's in a solid form or like this, it seems to want to select multiple edges sometimes, like it did the first time on me. But I'm trying to just get one edge selection essentially.
Try not to drag. Create radius.
Oh, okay. Oh, super annoying. Yeah, I'll undo mine. They are tricky, and I think
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go back to my.
Don't even know.
Well, it's still highlighted, so it kind of acts like it's weird that yeah, it's weird that it asks you. To me, it's just a weird command that it asks me twice. Why does it ask me twice to select the edge? Because yeah, I go in here to fill it, and I'm in wireframe. Like Sky said, I think this is easier for it to select just a single edge because you go into fill it, and then the command line says select your object, which I'm only trying to grab like one edge here. It's like it only really allows me, unless maybe I selected multiple, but then it is wanting to know what is the fillet radius here. I think that's what's on my command line, which is where I'm entering 0.75, enter, and then it acts like, okay, select your edge. Well, technically you already have it selected, so I think you can just hit enter again, and it recognizes that. I'm just no, I haven't done any. I've left my object just as I've done cuts, so I haven't done any. I haven't done anything. It's a great Grateful Dead song. Help is on the way.
Already.